Hello Booktube, this is the Back Porch Review. My name is Nick. Unlike the title implies, I actually am going to do some of these on my back porch, but apparently the monsoon season decided to come, and when it's not coming a flood outside, there are mosquitoes galore, so I really have to work on mosquito repellent and, living in a place that isn't covered in rain. This is my first video. I'm kind of uncomfortable doing it just because I've never done anything like this before, so it's kind of new for me, but I've noticed that, watching videos in the booktube world, that there are these tags and those kind of things, and I've seen this thing called the newbie tag, so what I thought I would do would be do that as my first video, because I thought that it could be fun, I thought it could be different, and we'll just go with that and see what happens, okay? So the first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, this is my first video on the channel. I've never had a YouTube channel before, never really considered it, but I obviously really like the booktube videos. They're a lot of fun. They're fun to watch. It's fun to see what other people like to read, see how much it matches up with what I like to read, and really, I just want a place to talk about books. I've tried blogging before, and I keep up with it sometimes, but not as much as I'd like, and so I'm hoping that maybe I can meet other people in the community that will obviously keep me accountable to continuing to read books and keep up with them on a regular basis. The second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, I'm an avid reader of fiction, and I feel that a healthy diet of good fiction is actually good to a happy life. But I also, I'm a seminary student, I'm a theology nerd, I'm a church history nerd, and I haven't really found that there are very many theology or church history booktubers, people in that genre. So while that may sound boring to a lot of people, I do plan to actually read fiction and review fiction and those kind of things on this channel. But I thought it would also be kind of fun to do some theology and church history stuff too, just because I end up having to read a lot of them for class. And I teach through some of them and those kind of things too. So I thought that could be fun and unique to bring to the channel. The third question is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? Well, for me, staying on track and reading more books for sure, but also meeting others who love books as much as I do and getting involved in the booktube community. Just because of what I've seen and what I've read, the booktube community is actually really kind of growing, and it's huge, and a lot of people make a lot of really good friends through booktube, so I thought that could be fun. Number 4, why do you love reading? Well, partly as an escape from reality, at least with fiction, obviously. But, let's be honest here, guys. Magic and dragons and fashion and life travel is just way much more fun than paying the bills and walking the dogs and going to work. So, number 5, what book or series got you into reading? Well, as a kid, I loved reading Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, those kind of things. Goosebumps as I got a little older. But when I was 13, this little book called Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out, and I was pretty much hooked from the beginning. And then from there, really, I had Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets at the same time. I read through both of those pretty quick, and then from then on, waited with bated breath like a lot of other people did for the next book to come out. So I really kind of grew up with Harry. I was a little older than Harry in the books, obviously, but I really kind of grew up with Harry. So Harry became what really got me into reading, even more so than reading Cat in the Hat and those kind of things as a kid. What questions would you ask for your favorite booktubers? Really, I've noticed this a lot from other newbie tags, but my big question is, how do you guys read so much? I mean, seriously, because I get that some of you listen to audiobooks at work and those kind of things, and I wish I could do that at work. I do listen to them on my commute. I have about a 20-minute commute, so I listen to about 20 minutes of an audiobook to and from work. But guys, I mean, I read. I'm not a fast reader. I like to comprehend what I'm reading. I don't blow through things. I do DNF some stuff or lem some stuff, depending on if it just doesn't fit me. But I have no idea how some of you guys are reading 14 plus books a month. I read 5-6 books a month, and that's about it. So I'm not very fast, and I like to obviously take my time with it if I can. Plus, I have other things I do too. I'm a big sci-fi nerd. I watch a lot of Stargate, watch a lot of Star Trek. My wife and I are watching through the Guild right now again. But I also game a little bit, play some Lord of the Rings online. My wife plays World of Warcraft, and And, you know, so there's other things that I do than read, but I get that some of you guys, a lot of your free time is taken up by reading. My question is how do you read 14 to 15 books a month or more? Because I've seen some where people read way more than that, and that's a lot of books. Number 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Really? Probably finding people that care enough to listen to a dude with a really gross, thick Southern accent talk about theology or fiction. But also that and really keeping up with a regular schedule. I always start out pretty strong with these kind of things, with a blog, with Twitter and Facebook even. You know, I keep up with Facebook more than I do Twitter, but let's be honest. I've tried blogs, I've tried Tumblrs, I've tried Instagram, I've tried, you know, a number of things to really get myself into more social media kind of stuff other than Facebook. And I start out strong, but then I just really kind of peter out as things go on. So really what I want is something, again, to keep me accountable than to just where I get bored or I get busy and I don't think about it and I just go sit on the couch and watch more Stargate, because I'm always watching Stargate. Number 8, when did you start reading? Well, when I was a kid, again, and kind of going back to the question earlier, my mom, you know, read to me before I could read, mostly, you know, like Sesame Street books and some things like that. But as I learned to read, I obviously picked up Dr. Seuss, I picked up the Boxcar Children, Goosebumps, those kind of things. Where do you read? Well, like I said earlier, when it's not raining, as it is now, or 1,000 degrees outside or covered in mosquitoes, I do like to read on my back porch, hence the name of the channel. I just thought it was fun. It might be a little pretentious sounding, but I just thought it was fun, so no, you know, pretension meaning at all. But if not, I do read in here. Obviously, you see, we have a pretty big home library, or, you know, in bed before we go to sleep. And number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? Well, in fiction, I like to read sci-fi, I like to read fantasy. Not just a Harry Potter fan, I do like Brandon Sanderson, I like James S.A. Corey, I like Kim Stanley Robinson, I like a lot of things in those genres. Also, I occasionally like to read a Western. I was raised by a John Wayne enthusiast. My grandfather reads a lot of Westerns, and I've accumulated some of his books over time, or borrowed some of his over time. So I read those on occasion, it's just very rarely. But I also like a private eye novel every now and then. And let me just say, if you like the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the book is totally different from the movie, and it's a lot of fun. So I would highly recommend Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the book, because it's, again, totally different than the movie and still just as fun. But also in nonfiction, partly because I'm a student, but partly because I'm a total church nerd, I do enjoy theology. I like reading the church fathers. I like Bonhoeffer. I like C.S. Lewis. Subjects like discipleship, theological topics, church history, and those kind of things. Also, as a side note, and I know you guys can't see it, it's kind of up here, but I have a huge collection of Tolkien. Love Tolkien. Really excited about the new book. Haven't gotten it yet, but I will. So yeah, again, that's me. My name is Nick. I plan to do more of these on my back porch just because, again, I think it's fun. Not meant to be pretentious. But I hope you guys will like and subscribe down below. And maybe we'll get to hang out a little bit, get to know some of you a little bit better, and you'll like my channel. Thanks.